you guys, just wanted to do a little casting video, kind of show my ghetto setup. Yeah, that's about it. Talk about the project some more and all that business. I got on my, using my resin over here. I actually ended up buying bigger gallons of it, so it goes further. And then, you know, some molds here in the boxes, and the things that need to be cast in different colors I put in separate bags. And with So Strong dyes, I've got a bunch of colors now. My world had to open up a little bit when I started making teasel. So, yeah, and here's my pressure pot, a nice fire truck red. And then my air compressor is actually blue, but all you see of it is the cord because it is a loud mother. So, I don't want to have it sitting outside when I can help it. You know, I usually cast when nobody's home, so yeah. I'm doing some refractors right now. Whoops. A couple of refractor molds. And one thing that's pretty interesting is, turn that down a little bit. With the refractors, because I use a clear resin. These guys over here is water clear from Alumilite. With the refractors, you gotta put just a tiny, tiny bit of dye. Because it goes a long way, so just that tiny little dot, and yeah, it does the trick. That's right here. As of this point, there is our neighbor's one. At this point, there is 7 days left in the teasel auction on eBay. There are 3 bids, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know how high it'll go up, but we'll see. And I'm excited to get that head out there. That head that'll be by itself. I'd like to do more stuff like that. Some specialty items where, you know, only 5 people are going to get it. This data was kind of that way. That went out to 30 people. This will be a bit more special. One head, that's it. So, definitely excited about that. Still got some things in the molds, or in the pressure pot. Pieces of Mega Man. Alright. And if you've watched my other videos, you've seen me do some casting before. You know what, that's not going to be enough because I'm doing 2 refractors. But I can always add more ends up being too light. It doesn't matter which side goes with the dye. I just tend to, out of the 2 resins, this one has a little more yellowish tone. I just tend to always do it that way to remind myself. You are listening to the musical stylings of Animal Style, this guy that does some really cool chiptune stuff. My buddy Corey introduced me to him and I'm addicted. I just recently got it on my iPod. I tend to just favorite videos on YouTube and just listen to it with my phone. If I can't get it on my iPod. I wonder if you can even, hopefully the camera's not aimed down too low. Alright. And this stuff has a longer pot life and full cure time, and if you don't know what that means, the pot life is, once I mix these 2 together, for instance, the other resin I use, that has a 7-minute pot life, which means as soon as I mix them together, 7 minutes to get that into the mold before it starts to harden up and those bubbles can't be pressed out with the air compressor. And then the full cure time is how long it takes for it to completely harden up. So with that resin, it's a 7-minute pot life and a 20-minute full cure time. I don't remember what it is on this, but I know both the pot life and the full cure time are longer. And with this stuff, heat is what makes resin cure, and this stuff sometimes doesn't generate enough of its own heat, so I have to put it under a heat lamp, or just take the whole mold and set the oven on a really low setting, and let that heat build up a little bit better. Yeah, that's going to be a nice blue. Alright. You probably can't see what I'm doing right now, I'm mixing up the 2. Mixing those two up, and so that pot life has now begun. Mix them real thorough. And you can see when they're mixed pretty well when one side has dye and the other doesn't, especially with this water clear. So it really is clear. Reservoir in there and start pouring that resin in. Squeeze it so it sucks up the resin. Again, you guys are like, we know this. I saw your other video, dude. Tighten up two sides first, and then I'll do the other sides. Kind of like if you take the tire off of a car, you want to, or put a tire on a car, you want to tighten up and, the buds or whatever on the opposite sides of each other first. This ensures that you get it evenly tight on all the ends, and so when you're filling this up with air, it's not loose on one side and then air starts leaking out. Alright. So, my air compressor only holds so much, so I'm getting it up here to 40. It'll take its time, because I don't have a lot of output on that thing. Never mind, my air compressor wasn't full in the first place. Alright, I'm going to close the valve and let it fill back up. The air compressor kind of regenerates some of that air. And I know it's like if I had a bigger air compressor with a bigger tank, I wouldn't have to do this, but it works for now. It was a cheap air compressor. Got me rolling. That's all I needed. Alright, get a burst of air in there. And I can drop it off at 45, but I tend to get it up to 55 and 60. This thing holds up to 80 psi, but I've never pushed it. So letting that fill up. Yummy coffee. One last burst. You know what, because that water clear is thick, I am going to go ahead and let it get to 60. I'm going to push all those air bubbles out. And like, with the water clear with those refractors, you're going to see right through them if there's any air bubbles in it. So I need it to be as clean as possible. So, yeah, now I've got a Mega Man box. That's not even, I mean, that's just some of the molds. All the blue molds are in the house. Mega Man box, and now I've got a Teasel box. And, yeah, I'm hoping to use the, before I put up Teasel on eCreator, use that time to be sculpting and start making Teasels ahead of time to help, you know, when I start selling them, to help keep up, have some back stock so I'm not taking too long to send them off to people. Alright, that'll do it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you later.